Okay. All right. So, hi guys. Welcome back to the Karen Chain Show. So, today we have a very special guest. He is one of my connections on LinkedIn. Please welcome Ryan Reger. Am I?
Hey everybody,
Yes,
Rieger, Ryan Rieger.
Rieger. Okay.
Yeah, that's all right.
So, hi Ryan. I'm so pleased to have you.
I'm honored to be on your show, Karen. Congrats on your new show and everything you're doing. And looks like you're doing a lot on LinkedIn. I literally got on this morning and saw how you talked
Oh,
about making connections on LinkedIn.
mm,
It's so true. Connections is
yes.
where it's all at.
Yes, that's true. So thanks for taking the time to be with me
Of
today. So
course.
Ryan Reger is the host of Streams of Income radio show, and he's also the author of Streams of Income book. He has built a thriving online business with multiple streams of income. Wow, ranging from selling physical products to a variety of books and courses. And he also has a VA services. So Ryan, can you tell us more about you?
Yeah. So I'm from Indiana originally.
Mhm.
I live here in Texas now. I moved to Texas in 2008. I was working in the political field for about 10 years. And then at
Mm.
the end of 2008, I was on a political campaign, running a political campaign, and we lost that race. And
Oh.
so I only knew two things were going to happen. I was only certain about two things in my life,
Mhm.
that I was moving to Texas and that I was going to get married to Melaine, who's now my wife. And
Mhm.
so I did that, but I had no idea, Karen, how I was going to provide for us.
Mm.
I've always been an entrepreneurial type person. I've messed around on eBay a little bit, but when I got here to Texas and I had no job, I'm like, now is my opportunity to do something with business.
Mm.
And so my mother-in-law and my wife had started a very part-time furniture business. They were selling furniture on Craigslist.
Ah, okay.
This is one of our, I think you guys have Craigslist in the Philippines.
We don't have, but I've heard it
So
that
it's something just
yes.
like an online
Mm.
classified ad site where people can
Oh.
put things for sale.
Mm-hmm.
I should ask my team what's the equivalent in the Philippines, but
Mm.
essentially, like if you have things sitting around your house you don't want anymore, you can put it up on Craigslist.
Mm.
But also people would put brand new things on there too.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were selling furniture on Craigslist. And the
Mm.
way that was working was somebody would call my mother-in-law and she would have a delivery guy go pick it up at the warehouse and deliver it to
Mm.
them. And this is interesting. It's working for them. I'd love to do this full time. My wife
Oh.
said, no, you need to go get a job. But I said, I made a deal with her. I said, I'll continue looking for a job, but I
Mm.
really think that we can do this furniture business and make this a full-time income. In
Mm-hmm.
2009, the Lord blessed that business. It did really, really well. And we just started selling furniture on Craigslist. We moved to Amazon and eBay. We had a furniture store for a year, but hated that because
Mm.
we had to go into the office. We couldn't work from home in our
Oh.
pajamas anymore.
Mm.
So,
All
uh,
right.
and then I started selling on then I learned about I learned about Amazon's fulfillment by Amazon program where
Mm-hmm.
we can send in small things to their warehouse and they will store it
Mm.
for us. And then they will when an order is placed from a customer, they'll take our item, put it in a box and ship it to our customer and pay us. So what that
Mm.
freed us up to do is not to have all this inventory sitting around the house. And
Uh-huh.
so instead of like that's the old eBay model where you store everything and when an order is placed, you send it to your customer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I started selling on Amazon. I'll get to the end here real quick and then let you ask me other questions. But
Mm-hmm.
I found my love of helping people in about 2013 when I wrote a book called Real Wholesale Sources. It was a book about helping people um, find wholesale sources of inventory for selling on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And then that book did really, really well because I partnered up with somebody who had a larger list. Again, the connections there that you talk about on LinkedIn, you got to have connections.
Mm.
Uh, and I just fell into my place, fell into my lane
Mm.
where I didn't fall into it. God led me there where I am now helping people create income online. So
Mm.
it's not about just me anymore, not about just me creating streams of income for my family. I'm able to teach other people what I've learned and to create income for their family as well, quit their
Mm.
jobs. And I know you want to talk more about the VA services, which is what I'm really excited about because
Mm.
with having this, one of my membership communities is called Legends. And
Mm.
these are business owners who are mostly Amazon sellers and
Mm-hmm.
they needed virtual assistants. So I had already had a
Mm.
virtual assistant at the time. So I thought, I know how to find virtual assistants. I know how to hire them. I know how to train them. How about we come up with a service for these Legends members? And so that's been really fun to be able to now provide jobs not only in the US and Canada and the UK, where a lot of my
Yes.
members are, but be able to provide jobs all over the world with folks in the Philippines as well.
Oh, that's so amazing. So speaking of VA services, so today we're going to
Yeah.
talk about virtual assistants, building up your team of VAs, how is it working and how they've helped your business. So Ryan, tell me, how did your legendary VA services has started?
Yeah, well, just
Mm,
it's just seeing the needs of my customers, my
mm,
students in my Legends community. They were asking, um, there's a lot of Amazon sellers use virtual assistants to help
mm,
them find products. So it's common knowledge among the Amazon world that there are virtual assistants all over the world, mostly the Philippines though,
mm,
that are really, really good at
mm,
finding profitable products for us to sell on Amazon. So what they're doing is
mm,
they're going to Walmart.com, Target.com, any .com site that's legitimate,
mhm.
finding something that they can buy. Let's say they buy it for $3, and then the student can then sell it on Amazon for, let's say, $12. So there's profit to be made there. And
Oh,
it's just literally just comparing one site to Amazon. There's also
mm,
tools now that have been created to make this process faster and easier. But
mm,
yeah, VAs can do this. And so my Legends members saw, hey, I mean, all these other people have virtual assistants. I know there's
mm,
people in our group that have virtual assistants. And it was just enough people saying, hey, I would like to have a virtual assistant, but I have no idea where to go, how
mm,
to hire them, how to train them, what questions to ask.
mm.
And I had that experience. And so I thought, let's just take my experience,
Yeah.
build up a service, and meet the needs of my students. So that's really how it
Oh,
started. It's just literally listening to my audience.
oh, that's awesome, right? Really, it's really important to listen to your audience.
Mhm.
Yeah. So how did you build an awesome team of Filipino VAs?
Oh my
Because I
gosh.
know you
Well, it
have a
started
lot.
with one. It started with
Wow.
one VA.
Mm,
I had uh, with another business I was a part of, we had a
mm,
leads service where it was, you know, you'd get 5 or 10 leads a day of these profitable Amazon products. And we had some VAs that were doing that. And then
mm,
we closed that business down, but there was one VA who was working on our team that was
mm,
just a superstar, did everything, just was hardworking, very loyal,
mm,
customer service genius.
mm.
And so I wanted to keep him on. His name's
Mm.
Zach. And
Zach. Uh-huh.
so I went, when we decided to close that business, I said, Zach, I want to figure out a way to keep you on and keep you working. So we
Mm,
did. And so when Legends started, I just went to Zach and say, okay, we got all these people that need VAs. I feel like this
mm,
could be a great service. Help me start this.
mm,
So we did. We found a VA to do training. And
mm,
so we had somebody that would Zach hired his sister to do the recruitment.
mm,
And so she's also in the Philippines, and she would go on places like onlinejobs.ph or
mhm,
all your Facebook groups in the Philippines that people are looking for jobs, and she would make job posts. We're looking for these
mm,
types of people. And then we'd get the applications, we'd run them through a training process,
mm,
and then we, kind of what we call endorse them over to a client. And that's what we've done.
mm.
I mean, we just started with one, and now we've um we've had like 68 different batches of trainees come through in the
Oh,
last few
wow.
years.
That's
So it's gone really,
awesome.
really well. And there's some VAs that aren't doing the Amazon thing anymore. They find out, that's not their thing.
Mm,
But we're slowly coming up with other ways to
mm,
use their skills. So if
uh-huh.
they don't like Amazon but they love social media, I'm
Mm,
going to be able to find them a
mm,
job for that, or if they're graphic design or
mm.
research or whatever. But it started with one, and it just grew from there.
Wow. That's so amazing. So how is it working with them and how are you able to manage them?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's very easy, Karen. They run the whole thing
Mm,
for me. I could like go and not talk to them for weeks and they would do it without me.
mm,
Um, because it's they feel like they're a part of the business. They have
mm,
taken ownership of it, which
mm,
is huge. We get on meetings once a week on Mondays, and with my leadership team, and just go around and talk what's, like, hey, Karen, how's your department going? Zach, how's your department going? And just talk things out as a team. And then we're available on Skype throughout the week if they have other questions. But honestly, it's pretty easy. I mean, I've never ran a remote team before like this. I've never managed people in this way before anyway, but they make it easy because they're just such good workers, and they take ownership of it. It's their business too. And we care about each other. We communicate really well. And I think that's key, to be able to communicate. I treat them well. I mean, I do treat them well. I pay them well. They get the 13th month and more. And so I think I've helped keep them loyal. But it's because they're such great people, great workers. And I could not do it without them.
Yes, that's true. So speaking of, since you have a team of Filipino VAs, so I want to ask you, why choose the Philippines for outsourcing your VAs?
Yeah. Many reasons. Number one is you guys are just, I mean, I know in general, I mean, you probably could find examples where this isn't true, but for the most part, I've found that Filipino VAs are hardworking, they're loyal, they are trustworthy,
That's true.
honest. Another big thing is that you guys, most Filipino VAs speak English, and speak English very, very well. And so for what we're hiring them for, they don't really have to speak English, but the fact that I can communicate with them, I know that if I need to jump on a Zoom call with any of them about anything to ask them about how it's going, that I'm going to be able to talk to them. I don't have to learn Tagalog at all. But I mean, the biggest things are the character pieces about Filipino VAs. A lot of them are Christians, honestly, so that makes a difference. That's not a requirement. We obviously don't require that, but it's you guys are just honest, you're loyal, you're hardworking, you're trustworthy, you're great to work with. You just I don't know, those are the main things, and just it works out to be a great partnership. And I mean, honestly, it's obviously the pay scale works really well, because your cost of living in the Philippines is way less than here in the States. And so that works out really, really well. So that a lot of Americans, when we tell an American how much we pay our Filipino VAs, are like, oh my God, that's crazy, you're ripping them off, and that's dishonest and horrible. Like, no, you got to realize that that's a very, 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 very good wage for them, and that allows them to feed their whole family. And so for us, it's way, way less than paying an American to do the exact same job. And I would argue that, you're probably, and a lot of times you're going to get a better worker with a Filipino VA than an American many, many times. And so it works out business wise too, financially. And then also you can provide jobs. I know you guys are going through some really rough things with COVID right now. I literally got an email from somebody today saying that she's a bookkeeper and an accountant. It's like, please help me find a job. I've lost my job, and she's got 2 kids to feed. And like, oh my gosh, like I want to help her. Like, I just got to figure it out how to make that work. So it's also providing, it's not totally one-sided. We're not getting all the benefits by any means. We're able to provide a good wage. Our VAs can work from home. It sounds like you work from home too. You get to set your own hours. We don't require any certain number of hours a day. It's all performance based. So if a VA wants to work in the middle of the night, because that's what they're used to, being from a call center job, for example, they can continue that schedule. If they want to work 2 hours a day or 12 hours a day, it doesn't matter to me, as long as they get the work done. And so they have that time to be home with their family. And they're not, it's just easier. I mean, in some ways it's harder probably to work from home with you. Maybe there's distractions of your family all around you, but it does mean that you're not fighting traffic. And
that's true.
And there's but then there's some benefits obviously working from home. So all to say, Filipinos are just the best. And we do have a few people that are not in the Philippines, but like 99% of our team is Filipino.
Oh, that's awesome. And what are the qualities that you look for when you hire someone on your team?
Yeah, so for our Amazon sourcing, literally, like we pretty much have to usually train people to do the job.
Mm,
So, I mean, if they've had prior experience, that's fine. But for the most
mm,
part, hardworking, willing to learn,
mm.
teachable,
Yes.
have internet connection, and have a computer. That's pretty much
Mm.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, pretty basic, but that's really important.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So any tips that you could share to us how to build a successful remote team of VAs?
Oh man.
Hmm.
If I'm speaking to somebody who's like hiring people, I mean, definitely look to the Philippines. They're awesome. They're going to do a
Mm-hmm.
great job for you. Um, Start with one, find one person that can be kind of
Mm,
get that started for you. I mean, I didn't have to like hire each person in my team.
mm,
So my journey was a little bit different in that I had already had Zach. He
mm,
told me about his sister. We hired her. And then from there, our leadership team came from the people we were training. So our main trainer, Rhea, is
mm,
from our first batch of trainees, and now she's training
mm,
everybody. And so it kind
mm,
of happened organically. Um, so if I was had to start over again, you just find that one rock star virtual assistant that you can trust,
mm,
that gets to know your business, and then just hire based on what you need. You
mm,
know, look at what you're doing currently and figure out what are the tasks that you are either not good at,
mm,
um, or they just aren't things that you should be doing. Like, you know,
mm,
you're awesome at social media, Karen. So like for me, an obvious one was social media because I would wake up every day before I hired somebody to do this for me. I would
mm,
look at my I would think about what am I going to post today?
mm,
And I would spend an hour thinking about it and then
mm,
going on to Canva and creating this dumb little picture that looked horrible because I'm not a graphic designer.
mm,
And I wasted an hour of my time where if I would have hired somebody like you,
mm,
you'd have the whole 30 days planned out and
mm,
already know you would go into my content, you'd grab my podcast and pull out pieces of
mm.
content from things I'm already creating. So
Yes.
it's easy for you and great for me because I don't have to think about it.
Mm,
And so you just look at those things that are taking too much of your time, are not in your skill set, and get
mm,
somebody to do them because they're going to be able to do it better than you,
mm.
faster than you, and cheaper than you. And
Yeah.
it makes sense to not be. I know when you start your business at the beginning, you're doing everything, but
Mm,
in order to scale and grow, there comes a point to where if you want to continue growing, you're
yeah.
going to have to hire help and
Yes.
or get software, get something to help you leverage your time. And
Mm.
so I highly recommend looking to the Philippines for this because I mean, especially if you're an American and you want somebody that speaks English, that makes a big difference.
Yes, that's really true. I think, yeah,
Mhm.
most of us really, I really believe that we do have the good communication skills.
Yes,
We don't have the accent, but we can really speak. Yeah,
right.
even little kids who knows how to speak
Yes,
English. Like,
I
yeah,
know. When did you
yeah.
start learning English?
Oh, since I was kinder.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. It's like our
Wow.
second language. Yeah, we are really taught since we are young
That's
kids.
wow. It makes a huge
Yeah,
difference, and that gives you opportunities that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and we're thinking about we'd love to expand our VA service in other countries, and
Mm,
but it's really hard with
mm,
like just throwing out a country there. Like I've been talking with folks from Cambodia, for example.
mm.
They speak very little English, so that's a
Oh,
huge barrier that we would have to overcome,
mm.
and so it makes it
Yeah.
really hard. They wouldn't even be able to be on the training and understand what my
Mm.
team is saying. So
Yeah.
yeah, the fact that you know English makes a huge difference. And I know you
Yes,
said
that's true.
do you have some Australian clients too?
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
clients from I think all over the world.
yeah, that's
It's,
great.
yeah. So what do you think are the secrets to building a winning team? Because I know you have
Oh
like
my
an
gosh,
awesome team.
communication. Number one
Okay.
is communication.
Mm,
Um, Hiring the right people, getting. I'd also
mm,
say no communication number one for me.
mm-hmm.
Number two is I know my style is different, but I do not micromanage them, and
Oh yes. Mm,
they love that. Like I'm available for questions,
mm,
and I think I provide good leadership and direction of where we're going,
mm,
but I trust them to do their job. And
mm,
so we'll be on calls on Mondays and they'll bring up a question. I'll say, okay, literally, what do you guys think? I mean, it's not all about me. I don't have all the answers. You guys are the experts. You're dealing with all of our VAs every day. You're in this every day. I'm kind of higher up here and just kind of seeing it from down below. I'm seeing it from above. And so I definitely want your expertise and your advice. I don't make all the decisions. We do it as a team. I can definitely veto something if I want, but for the most part, they bring us good ideas and we go with their ideas, and it's been working so far. So communication and I guess managing them in a way that allows them to do their job.
Yes.
I check up on them. How you doing? How's it going? How can I help you? How can I provide you with more support? One thing, I'm very big on Karen too, is I want them to enjoy their jobs. I know it's not like they aren't going to enjoy it to the level of me. I'm the owner of this company. This is my baby. But if I can get them in a role where they really feel like they are using their skill sets to the best of their ability, it's not going to feel so much like work for them. They're going to, I told them, I want them to wake up on Monday mornings excited about the work week. And I know that may be a stretch for some of them. And it's still a job to them. But if I can structure it in a way to where we are using their skill sets, that means that it's just, they're going to thrive in that. Like Rhea, our trainer, like she right now, pretty much all she's doing is training because she loves to train other people. And so we've taken off a lot of her tasks that aren't training related and saying, okay, this is your thing. You do this really well. Let's just make this most of your job. Now, for somebody else, that might be boring because they want some variety. And so we try to, I get on a call with them, fairly rarely, like in one-on-one with my leadership team. Like, how's it going, Karen? How can I help? How are you enjoying your job? Tell me what's going on in your life. How are your family? How can I pray for you? Are you happy with how things are going? Because if they quit, I'd be in trouble. I need them.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I want to keep them happy. And so communication, don't micromanage them. Let them do their job and check in with them. I guess that goes under communication, but check in with them. They're human beings. They're not slaves. Treat them like human beings. Treat them like you would. I probably, one thing I'll tell you though, that I probably do that's not so great is that it's hard for me, and I'm learning this. It's hard for me to know where that line is between friend and worker, like friend and employee. So like two of them, Zach and his sister Rain, came over here to the States in 2019. I brought them over and I met them. They met some of our Legends members. They went to one of our live events. And so it's hard. And even with our other leadership team that I haven't met in person, I feel like they're my friend and I call them friend. And so it's hard. And that's probably not the best as far as like, you don't want to cross that line all the time. But I also, I'm a friendly guy by nature. And so it's hard for me not to see them as my friends. And so that as a boss, that can be hard at times. But I would always err on being nice and friendly. That's just who I am.
I can see you're really a good boss.
Thank you. They say that. Hopefully that's true.
How do you have having a good relationship with them?
Yeah, just talking to them. Zoom has made a huge difference. Being able to see their faces like this. I mean, it feels like we're in the same room. The fact that I've met Zach and Rain in person has helped too. I would love to get over to the Philippines and meet all of my leadership team and some of our VEs. That would be really, really fun. I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's communication, just getting to know them. Like Zach and I we'll talk about business on a call and then we'll talk about basketball, like just something totally unrelated to world. He's been over here. We'll talk about Chick-fil-A, or I like to eat. So he'll tell me about lechon and all these restaurants that you have. And so I fantasize about, hey, when I get to the Philippines, here's where I'm going to eat and all that. So it's just like when you're dating somebody, you talk about stuff,
Yeah. That's
so
true.
Zach and I will just chat. When I get on my calls with my VAs one-on-one, it's not all about business. I'll ask them about their family, about their hobbies. I try to get to know
Yeah.
them as persons, as people. So
Yes, as people. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. That's awesome. Can you share some good reasons why business owners and entrepreneurs should hire a VA?
Oh my goodness.
Mm,
So many reasons. Obviously, with everything going on in the US right now, like everywhere you go, I
mm,
don't know if it's like this in the Philippines or not, but every business you walk in, there's a hiring sign. They're
mm.
looking for people.
Yeah.
Literally, I saw a guy who owns a Dairy Queen. It's an ice cream restaurant here
Mm,
in the US. And he said he was looking for somebody, he was paying $1,000 sign up bonuses for anybody that would get hired and stay through like February.
mm,
Um, we business owners are in such desperate need right now for
mm,
workers. And a big reason for that is people are the unemployment benefits that our government
mm,
has given
mm.
has been so generous that is it has de-incentivized people to go get jobs. It's like I can make almost or as much money or maybe even more money sitting at home watching TV than if I
Mm,
go get a job. And so it's made it really hard for small business owners. So
mm,
number one is look overseas because you probably have somebody who's going to be harder working, going to be
mm.
more loyal,
Yeah.
going to love their job more. And I don't want to,
Mm.
I'm not being disrespectful to Americans. I'm American, but there's just something about Filipinos. You guys are just innately hardworking and loyal. And not every, I mean,
Mm,
I'm sure we've had some bad experiences too,
mm,
but just I don't know what it is about what you got, how you guys were brought up by your parents that
mm.
makes a difference. Maybe your faith too is a big
Yes.
deal. Part of
Mm-hmm.
that's probably a big deal behind it.
Mm-hmm.
But why you should hire a VA is every I could look into any business owner and find something that you shouldn't be doing as a business owner. There's
Yes.
especially maybe some administration tasks that
Mm,
just does not make sense, especially if you are a solopreneur. You're doing this by yourself.
mm,
You're the person that's supposed to provide the vision and the leadership and the direction,
mm.
and you you don't need to be doing every single little thing in the business. You typically will
Yes.
start out that way, and that's
Mm,
normal. But there comes a point in your business where if you're bogged down in the admin tasks,
mm,
you're not able to be this visionary person that you need to be to grow your business. So
mm,
you've got to hire somebody. And
mm,
I mean, there's virtual assistants in the US too. So if you're looking for somebody to do outbound calls, I
mm,
mean, I'd say still you can look to the Philippines because a lot of you have um, call center experience and
mm.
are amazing on the phone. So even a Filipino VA could do outbound and inbound calls for you. But I mean, other than the hard working, is just it makes sense financially for us because of
Mm.
just the pay scale is different.
Yeah.
We can pay you a wage that we could never get away paying American, and we get
Mm,
equal or better work.
mm,
So yeah, it just makes sense. But the hardest part is like find how to do that. It's easy to put a job post on like monster.com or
mm,
somewhere here and talk to somebody and have them come into your office. But um, there is that gap with how do I find somebody overseas? That sounds like a gargantuan task.
mm.
And with sites like onlinejobs.ph and
Yeah.
Upwork, and you probably know of others that
Mm,
has made it easier to connect
mm,
with people remotely.
mm. Yes. All right. So, what to expect when working with a VA?
Mm, um, let's say you still need to. We usually give them a trial period. There's still a
Oh.
period where we're feeling
Mm,
each other out to make sure that is this a fit for you? Is this a fit for
mm.
us? Um, you can expect that the time difference to be huge. Now I know
Yes.
with your folks in Australia, that's not an issue, but here in the States,
Mm,
right now I'm in Dallas. You're 13 hours ahead of me,
mm.
and so just keep that in mind if you're
Yes.
hiring
Time
somebody
difference.
overseas like that.
Mm,
But I have a lot. It's crazy, Karen. I have a lot of team members that they're just so used to that.
mm,
They're so used to their call center experience hours.
mm.
They
Graveyard. Yeah.
prefer the middle of the night, which is our
Mm,
day. So I will be typing a message to Zach at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, my time. It's
mm.
3 a.m. his time, and he
Mm.
responds immediately back. I'm like, "What are you doing up?" And that's true even if it's like
Hmm.
5 p.m. at night, my time, 6 a.m. Like he hasn't even been to bed yet. I'm like, "How do you do this?" Like I would just be a zombie. Um, so time difference is a big thing to be aware of. It's totally something that you
Mm,
can get over. It's not an issue, but just be
mm,
aware of it. Be aware that, just because you hired somebody doesn't mean they're a genius at this. You still might have to train them.
Yes.
Oh, here's something else that I've noticed, that a lot of Filipinos are a little bit shy. And so if they don't know something, they might be a little bit shy to say that they don't know it. And so ask them, just say, hey, it's okay. I mean, I know that we're just getting to know each other. Please tell me if there's something that you don't understand. I want to make sure that I explain this well. A lot of times this is our first time to hire somebody. So we don't even know what to expect. We don't, as the business owners, we don't know what necessarily. We've seen a resume. We may have talked to you on a Zoom call, but still, since you're not here in person with me by my desk, I don't know what you're working on. I don't know what you're struggling with.
Yeah.
So just have that communication and try to, if it seems like they're struggling, ask them what's going on. How can I be helpful? What am I not explaining well? Do you even like this job? Is this a fit for you? It really just comes down to communication, but and proper expectations. They're not going to be a miracle worker. You can't give them something like, I couldn't probably hire you now, Karen. I could probably hire you to do this because you're an expert with social media, but it's probably going to be like, if I handed you my social media, if you're somebody else, you would still want to work with them and like approve those posts first, and then get to know that and trust them after a few days. And like, okay, now I know that you know what you're doing. I'm just going to let you run with it. And I'll be on my phone later today and see what you posted. I have that relationship with my VA. At first, though, I would look at every post and approve it. Like, yes, 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 yes. So yeah, it really just comes down to communication.
Yes.
Communicate well with them.
Yes, that's really true. And yeah, do not be afraid to ask questions.
Right.
That's what I've
Definitely. As a
noticed.
VA, don't be afraid to ask questions. Yes.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so to wrap it up, what would be your advice to finding, building, and leading a great VA team?
Well, go to the Philippines first. Look there first. Let's see. Finding them is onlinejobs.ph is a really good site.
Okay.
Our legendaryvas.com is a site that we're trying to, for the last few years, it's been so focused on our legends community. So, but as I talk more about what we're doing, I'm getting all different business owners from all different types of industries asking me, hey, could you help me find a VA for this role? And we've done that. And so very slowly we're opening up the door to being able to kind of help connect people, because there's a lot of people in our VA team that are, they've done the Amazon thing and it's just not their thing. They don't love it so well. And so we've been able to, take that person's Pinterest skills and find a business owner that needs somebody to post pins on Pinterest for them and make that match and still provide a job. So advice, go online, go to places like onlinejobs.ph, even email me, info at legendaryvas.com. I'm happy to answer questions and help point people in the right direction. I would say when you post a job, have something in there that, like, for example, have some instructions in there, because if you post a job posting, we've noticed this on onlinejobs.ph, when Rain will go there and post something, we'll get so many responses. And you can tell people didn't even look at the job description. So have something in the description that says, when you reply back, please put apple pie in the email and the subject line. So that anybody that didn't say apple pie, they didn't even bother to read the whole thing. And so you can immediately reduce or filter out, because you may get hundreds of applications for something, and that's overwhelming for somebody. So if you look at only the ones that said apple pie, you may have 25. Well, then just start going through the resumes and actually get on a Zoom call with the ones that seem like to be the best fit. And then have a trial period, like a test. So like if I was hiring you to do social media for me, I might say, here, Karen, here's my podcast. Come up with 3 different posts that you might do from this podcast episode. And just, you maybe give a couple people a paid trial like that and pay them for this trial. And then like, oh, I like Karen's the best by far. Okay, Karen, you're hired. Let's do a 30-day trial period, see if we're a fit for each other, and kind of go from there. So yeah, just just step out there. It's not scary. You guys aren't
Yeah.
scary to talk to. So
Yeah,
um,
we're not scary.
exactly. In fact, it's probably the other way around. Most of the Filipinos are more like shy to talk to us. I've noticed they'll always call me
Mm.
sir and all that. I'm like,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
stop that. It's just Ryan. I'm just Ryan.
Yeah, very
Um,
polite.
very, very, very polite, which is
Yeah.
great. I think that's
Mm.
awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are. Awesome, awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Ryan. I really enjoyed our talk today. It was
Yes.
really insightful, and yeah, I've also learned a lot from you on how did you build your team of VA. So really building a team for your business is really crucial to the success and growth, right, of your business. And yeah, this is what we do. Since we have
Yes.
both of us are having our own VA services, we help our clients
Mhm.
achieve their work-life balance while growing their business through leverage, through automation and delegation. So yeah, doing
Mhm.
less and earning more. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's
Yep.
it.
That's right.
Yeah. So once again, Ryan, thank you for making this for this amazing interview. I am looking forward for more of our talks.
Yes. Absolutely. Happy to help you any way I can.
Thank you, and I'll see you around.
All right. Thank you.
I gotta